Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 My Team Career Mode. This is episode number 97 today for the Italian Grand Prix in Season 6. If you guys did miss the previous episode at the Austrian Grand Prix, then be sure to go check the one out before you see this one, because that race may have topped the Imola Grand Prix, the race that had everything in that race. Well, Austria also delivered with some rain, with some chaos, and some last lap heroics, but in the end we managed to recover from a brilliant, what was it, like towards the back of the grid, P19, P20, all the way up to a podium in the full Grand Prix. The reason we're at the back was because of an engine failure, which also saw our own teammate crash into us as we were retiring. Yeah, bonkers. And if you want to know how we got from the back of the grid to a podium with some rain at the end, then definitely go check that one out, because yeah, mental. 5 different tyre compounds used for the likes of Max Verstappen. We used 4 different ones. Yeah, when rain hits this season, it has completely delivered every single time. And in a flash, Button went from having quite a massive lead, really, relative to the rest of us, to now being 1 point behind me in the championship. This is how big the championship can swing when you have one chaotic race like that. We got a 3rd place. We didn't even win the race, and we still gained massively because Jensen obviously made that last late pit stop down to 13th place. Tsunoda got a 2nd win of this season to climb up the order, but Leclerc scored a couple of points in the sprint, a couple of points in the full race, and he's still looking pretty decent. He's 2 points ahead of Tsunoda. Both Leclerc and Tsunoda, you know, their aim has got to be trying to bridge that gap eventually to myself and Jensen Button. And of course, right now, myself and Jensen are having this back and forth as teammates, but it's all been very amicable, you know. Obviously, I've, you know, Jensen's my favorite ever F1 driver, so there's going to be no there's not going to be any kind of funny business, you know, from my side at least, you know, in terms of I'm very happy to let him by if he's genuinely quicker than me, and honestly, annoyingly, that's been the case as of late, especially in the races. He's had so much race pace compared to me, and that's not something I'm used to. You know, most of the time I can accept AI being quicker than me in qualifying, but usually in the race we gain a lot more, you know, with the consistency we have in the races and just kind of being careful about ourselves and keeping out of trouble. But Button has been such a great overtaker even when he's been down the order, really. So yeah, doing a fantastic job. But Q1 was a formality for myself and Button, but Q2 may be a bit difficult, because although we did look pretty good in Q1, other people are speeding up in this session. Jensen set a time already, and it's not that great. It's behind a Williams initially. We're obviously still going and yet to set a lap time right now, so let's see what we can do. But it seems like it's going to be a battle at the sharp end between the Italian teams, Ferrari and Lamborghini potentially. That first run for us, P11, Jensen Button down in P13. We're on the back foot. Purple first sector may just save us as we cross the line, and we are narrowly going to make it into the top 10 shootout. Jensen Button is out in Q2, and this car is definitely not as quick around Monza, even though I feel like we've got a very good car in a straight line. But I think it's more so in the races, you know, in slipstream, where it really comes into its own. Very low drag kind of car we've got going on with the BMW setup. But yeah, Lamborghini really strong there, up there in 2nd and 3rd place. They're going to obviously look to maybe continue the great, results that I had for them here at Monza, obviously with that win at both Italian Grand Prix last season, driving in the Lamborghini. But Ferrari up there, McLaren, Aston Martin, Joe Guan Yu and Tsunoda both up there, but Red Bull also are there, sorry, didn't even mention them. Red Bull, Ford, both of them are there, and Q3, absolute disaster. Nothing to write about, nothing to show you. Awful lap. And I felt like a AI NPC. You know, like when sometimes the AI, they're like over a second off the pace and you just don't know why. Well, that was me today, and I have no reason why. I was just super slow in that last session. You know, we had 1 lap to do because I only had 1 new set of soft tyres, and that was it. So That's a calamity for us. I mean, not much better than Jensen, but yeah, the Red Bull Ford car looking good around here. So clearly the Ford engine very, very solid, but Lamborghini on pole position. Teo Porcher, our old teammate, to be honest, it's great to see him continuing the lineage of Lamborghini doing well at the Italian Grand Prix. But Sainz there on the front row, Russell up there, Tsunoda close to us, so at least that's something. You know, one of the people chasing us is close to us. And actually, I forgot to mention, I'll say it now, you may notice Leclerc's not here. He got knocked out in Q1, so he had a disaster after just complimenting him about doing well and, you know, chasing after us along with Tsunoda in the championship. He had a nightmare. So yeah, we've got a few drivers out of position, myself and Jensen included. So let's go to this Grand Prix. I really don't know how this is going to work out. I have a feeling a lot of other cars might be a lot quicker than us because of their engine power and setups going on. Let's just see. Let's see. So we certainly seem a little bit on the back foot. I'm getting kind of Baku vibes, and it makes sense, to be honest, because at Baku earlier in the season, you know, that's not exactly similar circuit, but similar-ish circuit, long straights, you need a good amount of power, and clearly we weren't great at Baku, so I'm kind of worried about not being great here in Monza. We're going to have to see. It'll be unfortunate if we're not, because I've really enjoyed Monza on this game. Obviously, we've had some amazing success here at the Italian Grand Prix, especially driving for Lamborghini just the last 2 seasons. But did you see that radio message? Rain expected in 10 to 15 minutes. Is it going to happen again? We had it in Imola. We had it in Austria. Is some rain going to cause some absolute chaos today? I guess we're going to have to find out. Our old partner continues what we were doing last season. Lamborghini on pole position at the Italian Grand Prix as we go to fire lights, and we're underway to slow one for Lando Norris ahead. He's going to block Tsunoda and gives us a free run. Zhou Guanyu also a bit slow. We're up to P8. Can we make anything else happen? It's 3 abreast ahead. We get very, very close. Zhou Guanyu makes some contact with Gasly. We're trying to give Albon room. 3 wide ahead, and Gasly has just damaged Zhou Guanyu's front wing. We're trying to squeeze in, but Zhou shuts the door, and he wants to keep to the right-hand side. We dip a tyre into the grass, but we get past the Chinese driver up into P6. So it's a decent start, really, and we did well to stay out of the chaos. Obviously, Zhou Guanyu ahead of us, or behind us now, has damage. That could have easily been us, but Gasly now keeping up with Liam Lawson. Lofty for the Red Bull Ford in P4. Porcher remains in first place off pole position, but Carlos Sainz, the man on the front row with him, is trying to swap the order round. Sainz into the lead, maybe, is it? No, Porcher defends very well, and Gasly gets around the outside of Lawson. Oh my God. We nearly smacked the rear end of that Red Bull Ford. We took avoiding action across the gravel, and we've lost 3. We've just lost all our positions. We're back down to P9. Tsunoda now is having a go, and we have to let him by because I can't squeeze him out there. And so we're down to P10. All that hard work on lap 1 undone. Meanwhile, it's 3 wide between the Audi, Lamborghini and Ferrari here at Monza. Epic stuff into turn 1 as we look to try and re-overtake Tsunoda on the outside. He's going to try and get the elbow out. Myself and Yuki have always had very respectful battlings. We've never tripped over each other, so respectful continues today on lap 2 there, as it's still going off between the Lamborghini and the Ferrari. This will be amazing for the Tifosi. The Ferrari leads the way ahead of the Lamborghini and the Audi in 3rd place, but let's take a look at a replay then. This is a slow-mo. So I basically got caught out with these guys slowing up, and look how close this is. If you're wondering why I even went left and went across the gravel, that's why. I was literally inches away from breaking my front wing and pretty much probably having my race over on the rear end of Lawson there. So yeah, we did well to actually avoid that, but that's why we had to go across the gravel and lose the positions we did. So now we're diving straight back into the action on lap 2, and there's still a fight going on for the lead of the race, and there's movement going on down below. Button overtaking Tsunoda, Porcher overtaking Russell, and Lawson and Gasly swapping positions. There's literally moves going on left, right and centre, and Jensen having overtaken Tsunoda Tsunoda, he's had such a great line through Ascari that he's got the run on us. We're going to let him by. He's on the soft compounded tyre. No wonder he's got the extra pace. So we we'll let him through on purpose, and we're going to try and follow him through as we now focus back on the fight at the top. Russell in the lead. Sainz second now. The Lambo was down to third place. They're now 3 wide, maybe 4 wide. Pierre Gasly gets involved as well. The 2 Lamborghinis are pincering on the Ferrari, and Sainz is into the lead. This is just actually showing Leclerc's mistake of being knocked out in Q1 is horrendous, because he had the chance to be right up here with the Audi pace. We've just been overtaken by Tsunoda, by the way, on that straight, lap 10. So we're now down to P10. We watched Tsunoda V-button into turn 1. And I've got Logan Sargent, of all people, behind me in the Andretti Cadillac. And because he's on the soft compounded tyre, he's looking pretty racy. He's actually holding up Max Verstappen right now. And you can clearly see he's almost pushing me through these corners. Right now, the pace I've got on these mediums, probably should have guessed. We probably should have gone with softs, even if they were worn-out soft tyres, because these mediums aren't working for me. But obviously, the people that are on softs, like Jensen, it's because he was outside the top 10, of course, out of free set. As we watch, oh, poor chair into the lead, just about on Sainz, and now Gasly's in third. This could quickly become a very impressive little race for Lamborghini, with a 1-2 of Gasly could get up there and overtake Carlos Sainz. Meanwhile, and speaking of the man, he just set to pass after the Grand Prix as we look to try and stay with Tsunoda. Button making movements ahead on Piastri. Can we overtake Tsunoda on the left-hand side? We get it a little bit crossed up and almost hit the back of our own teammate there. As, I don't know what this is giving me massive Baku vibes. For whatever reason, I'm just not feeling very comfortable and at one with the car. It feels nervous, it feels unpredictable on the brakes, and I don't have that confidence on the brakes like I did in Baku as well. The same thing's happening where the AI are outbraking me so much into certain big brake zones. Yeah, very similar vibes, but Button is very much the opposite. He's looking pretty quick on those softs, but the problem is, Monza on this F1 game is just crazy with the slipstream. You're just swapping left, right and centre. Gasly got into P1, didn't even notice that. Doesn't matter, he's down to P2 now. And I bet Gasly, Pourchaire and Sainz will be swapping a couple of more times, to be honest, as it might be 3 wide going into Parabolica. The 2 Italian Lamborghinis either side of the German Audi car, as Button tries to dive down the inside of Oscar Piastri. And meanwhile, I am being pressurised by Logan Sargent. I can't believe I'm saying those words. Logan Sargent is putting me under massive pressure in the Andretti Cadillac. Of all cars, he is looking to overtake me. Leclerc has now somehow popped up. He's right behind us, and Logan's ahead of me. Sargent has actually overtaken me momentarily there. Those soft tyres are actually working really well for him. And I can't stick with Tsunoda right now. He's broken DRS, so I'm a sitting duck now, because Sargent, Leclerc, all of them, they all have DRS on me. I do not. I need to get back under 1 second to Tsunoda, ideally, as fighting continues to go on for P1. This time now, it's Sainz in first place, ahead of Russell, and I think that was just a movement going on between Lawson and Piastri. Tsunoda looking to have a go at Jenson Button as we are weaving about, still defending Sargent and Leclerc as they're either side of me. It's nearly 3 wide going into Parabolica. Tsunoda's overtake on Button was unsuccessful as we go through the exit now onto lap 6. And oh my, I've got no battery left. I've opened DRS, but it didn't matter. We had no battery to start that lap, so for a moment there, I got overtaken by both those drivers. But now we're fighting Leclerc, but to be honest, you can see here I've not put up much of a fight, because I actually think I should use Leclerc to pull me closer to Tsunoda and Button. He's on softs. All these drivers are on softs. They're so much quicker. And here we go. There's some action ahead. Could we maybe make positions now? They've all bunched up, and now we have DRS on all of them. We're in the train, and now maybe we can do some work. But It's 3 wide ahead. Sonoda trying to make a double pass on Piastri and Button. Button gets crossed up. Leclerc has to get out of the throttle. We do as well. We had a little love tap with Leclerc. Just checking for the vehicle condition. No damage. DRS open. Battery deployed momentarily. But now we're boxed in. We're looking to make the double, the triple, the quadruple pass maybe. No, we're too cautious on the brakes. We're 3 wide with our teammate Leclerc. We've cut in a bit early to try and get on the power earlier than these guys. So we've given up the 2 positions again, but now we have much better speed as Button's going to squeeze us a bit as we jockey for position, but we're going for 1, 2 overtakes. Can we at least get Leclerc done here on the outside? Leclerc's going to go way over the curb, and we are going to get that double overtake done, and all of a sudden, Button is down to P11 from P7. That is crazy. That's just how bonkers Monza is on this game, but yeah, I maybe could have been more aggressive with that overtake. That genuinely could have been a quadruple overtake, but I just didn't have the minerals to slow the car down in time. And meanwhile, look at up here. The top 3 are broken away. The top 3 are 4 seconds ahead of the next car. I think we might have our podium already sealed because of the way the slipstream works. And Gasly, he's broken DRS. He's nearly 2 seconds ahead of Pourchaire, his teammate. 3 wide between the Audi, Red Bull, McLaren. 2 by 2 going on. I'm sorry. There's actually so much action. I legitimately can't keep up with it. It's as it stands then, Gasly is into a very nice lead now. And Monza, if you break the toe, you know, unless something happens later on in the race, you are pretty much set unless they really, really dig deep and catch you and have that outright pace in the corners. But obviously Gasly and Pourchaire are in the same car, and Pourchaire's too busy fighting Russell, so that could be Gasly looking very, very handy for the race win all of a sudden, quite early on into the race as we defend Button ferociously, because around this lap, I reckon the softs should be going off, so I think I should be able to fight these guys, and we are going to fight Piastri as we send it to the inside of Parabolica, and we get him out wide, so Button will be able to maybe overtake him, but now we'll set our sights on Leclerc if we can, but Leclerc unfortunately has DRS, and is very close to the train ahead, whereas I am kind of in no man's land. Even though I have DRS, I'm still not gaining too much, as Lawson, Tsunoda and Leclerc are pretty much nose to tail. And once again, on the exit of this corner, Button's been incredible through that left-hander, and we're gonna let him by again, as it's 3 wide ahead, and the Audi's on the inside. The Red Bull in the middle is gonna get pinched. He's gonna slow up. Button's gonna slow up. Can we go for the double pass? No! Oh my God! We've hit the wall. We've narrowly missed the pit entry. Button moved to the right, and we were far too close, so we couldn't react to it. And my life has flashed before my eyes there. Our rear right tyre clouted the wall. How we've not got damage is amazing. And then we actually missed the pit entry wall, but we got on the grass as well. I'm all flustered now, but this was insanely close. Look at this. Button. Oh, I know what he's moved to overtake Lawson, because Lawson is slowing him up. He was about to hit Lawson, so he moves right, and I can't react in time, and he actually makes contact with my front wing. There's a little bit of aesthetic damage. That won't be actual tangible damage, but it's a racing incident. I can't blame him there, because he's just moved out of the way of Lawson. I would have done the same thing, but we were just so eager to try and make the double pass on him that it's just not worked out, so yeah, having to recompose now, because it's taken us 2 laps to find that composure again, because I was pretty miffed off. Not at Jensen, just at the situation of, I feel like I've been bullied this entire race, and that's going to end now, as we are taking no prisoners from now on. At this point in the race, the red mist had descended a little bit in my cockpit, and I wanted blood. I just wanted overtakes. I wanted to stop going backwards in this race, as we're down to P13. So we go for the committed pass on Logan Sargent in the Andretti. I can't believe I have to say it had to be a committed pass on Sargent, but there you go. But we go for a massive dive bomb on Max Verstappen. Catch him napping up to P11 ahead of us. Lawson v Piastri side by side. Sainz is locked up and he slows up Button. He slows up everyone. We go for a cheeky little overtake on Lawson under yellow flags. We've not been penalised, but that was another situation where it was almost deja vu. We could have once again had to cut across the gravel to avoid Liam Lawson's rear end. We're having such a messy Italian Grand Prix. and the rain hasn't even arrived. If you looked at the sky, it's pretty overcast. There's Button's in, Verstappen's in, no damage. I think it's just for a routine pit stop. But look at the sky. The rain is on the way, like my engineer said. We've had such a messy Grand Prix. We've not even had rain yet. Can you imagine how unbelievably bad this race might get for us when the rain hits? I mean, I hope not, but let's see. In Imola and Austria, the rain was actually a good thing for us. Button pits off the soft compounder tyre. That surely means Piastri here, as we overtake him. He might be in soon, but we go for the pass on him. We're having to actually finish it off the next corner. We have a rear lock. Did you see that snap of oversteer? I had to go opposite lock to try and keep the car going. And actually, we have a little look at Carlos Sainz, the Audi who, you know, early on in the race was leading this race. And now he's down in P7 after that lockup, you know, battling his teammates. So things can change very quickly here at Monza. And the track is getting darker. The rain clouds are on the way. And on lap 12, I actually thought about pitting. But then I had a second thought. I just thought, the clouds are getting very dark very quickly. I think we continue. Is there a way we could maybe pit straight onto intermediates? And whilst I've been thinking about that, we just got absolutely done by Logan Sargent. He overtook me there fair and square into turn 1. What is going on in this race? Andretti clearly have lined up their entire season on this one track. They've done a Williams. They've thought, let's try and score a point in this one race. Clearly. But look how overcast it is. The rain's on the way, but I think, well, I'm hoping all the soft tyre runners will pit. And I reckon even the medium tyre runners, they will pit before it's time for inters. But if, you know, it's getting rapidly darker. Even the track looks a bit damp already with this weird F123, you know, textures that we've had all game cycle. So I reckon we're not too far away from rain. If I can manage to just keep this going on track. Yes, we're down in P7. We're losing ground to Tsunoda and Sainz, but we could end up in P1. We could end up in P1 on track position, and we're no stranger to that. We've done this before at Monza. We've had that track position. We've pit when no one else pit, you know, at a different time. And Tsunoda's thinking the same thing because some of the leaders are in, apart from Porsche. Tsunoda's up to P2. We're P3. We're having a go at Tsunoda round the outside. Oh, did you see that? Tsunoda with the defiant defence. He went really wide to block off that line on the left-hand side there. So he continues on, and the Aston Martin very much has more pace than me right now because in the corners he's pulling away. It's only the straights that I'm gaining on him as Porsche now comes in, but Tsunoda and me are continuing on. Is Tsunoda thinking the same thing as me? Is he going to try this gamble onto intermediates? Well, later on that lap, we have more things to worry about in the form of one Pierre Gasly coming at us at a rate of knots. He's made the pit stop. He's on fresh hards. We squeeze him, though, to the inside to try and maintain track position, but we're now losing the back end. I think the tyre wear is kicking in, and Gasly has gone round our outside. We tried to, I'm not going to lie, squeeze him towards the grass, but he was defiant. We've gone back down the inside. We're making a bit of contact. Of course we are, as we're neck and neck now through the exit of Parabolica. We're banging tyres. This is getting a bit too close for comfort. Tsunoda's pit. He's bailed out. We continue. We've gambled. We've made our bed. We have to lie in it. We're going to intermediates, but Gasly and Russell now are side by side, and I want to make it clear, they've pit and they've caught me up. So this is how far behind we were, and this is why I'm trying the gamble, because we were so far away from a podium, from a race win. You know, we have to try it because Tsunoda, he's come out in P13. We were behind him. So, yeah, I think this is worth the gamble as we're P1 right now, still on lap 16, but oh, what a sight this is. The two Italian cars either side of me, and you saw there I let off throttle quite early. I'll let you into a bit of an insight. I was low-key hoping that Gasly and Russell were about to come together at the apex of Ascari, kind of like AI always kind of do in those situations when you back out when it's 3 wide. Unfortunately, I look like a mug now because that didn't happen. Gasly's waltzed off into the sunset. I've had my pants pulled down by my arch nemesis, And now I've kind of given up. I've given up fighting these guys. You saw that I let off throttle to let Pourchaire by, because I then kind of used my brain and thought, I have no chance fighting these guys. They're so quick. What I should do is play it clever, use Russell and Pourchaire as a bit of a tow, and get DRS and just pull myself along. You can see I'm losing time every single corner. Sector 2 is a nightmare, but I'm pulling back time when they're fighting like that and in the DRS zone. But look at the skies, look at the halo. It's starting to rain, and my engineers said be careful on the slicks. It's getting a bit damp out there, so I'm hoping 1 or 2 laps away from intermediates, and we're still P4. Leclerc, he's 3.2 seconds behind me. If I stay in DRS with these guys, I reckon I could remain in P4 before we make the pit stop. We might even get P3 here. Can we pull through on the left-hand side? We're going to take it easy, though. We don't have the grip. Look at Pourchaire, though. Unbelievable. Pourchaire re-overtakes us and goes for the dive to get side-by-side with Russell, but he just doesn't have what it takes. But I don't have the tyre wear to outbrake them anymore, so I'm just having to watch it. But now, lap 18... I've fallen out of DRS now, and I'm really struggling. I'm asking my engineer about tyre status, and he says they're still unsure. I'm not convinced. As we go on for another lap, my engineer still doesn't say it's definitely time for inters, and now Leclerc is overtaking me. But I actually think, yes, I've got a lot of tyre wear, but I think half of the problem of my lack of grip right now is actually because it's too damp. Yes, I've got a lot of tyre wear, like I said, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Leclerc's overtaken me. Can we get him back, though, before the end of this Curva Grande? Lap 19, we go for the move, and we get back into P4. I really want to maintain this position, but Leclerc just re-overtakes us again with DRS. He's got the grip, and through Ascari, we're so slow. We're so slow. Verstappen's closing up. Yellow flag's behind. But for who? I don't know who that... And sorry, it wasn't Verstappen. It was Albon closing up to me. But I'm saying box this lap. I am adamant. Yeah, I've got tyre wear. But I think half of it is intermediates. Piastri's out. It's the McLaren. He is out of the race. But we're coming in for intermediates. And remember, in a previous season, we did this to the AI. We pit early onto inters, and we gained massively. I think we jumped from like P14 up to like P4 or 3. So I'm kind of hoping we can do the same thing again. Pitting earlier than the AI, and my engineer, everyone doesn't think it's time for intermediates. But I guarantee you, we're going to have some good grip out the pits. And we're going to start catching the cars ahead of us, of Joe Guan Yu and Drugovic. And then we're going to be laughing because we're going to be gaining so much time. I feel good about this. Once again, like Imola, like Austria, the rain is delivering. And hopefully it's going to deliver us the goods for us today. Yellow flags ahead, though. Oh, Lando Norris is going... Oh, no! Safety car! No! Oh, no. Please, I beg AI, don't pit. If AI don't pit, this might be okay for us because we'll actually close up. We'll bunch up to everyone, and then we'll actually be quicker on into me. Nah! Red flag. Are you kidding me? That's taking the piss, man. That's taking the piss. Red flag. Oh my god. You know what that means? We've come out in what? P16. And we're going to be in P16 come the restart. And everyone is going to be on inters. Absolutely brilliant. And this is why. Because 2 cars were stopped on circuit at the same time, I think. Piastri, sorry. And Lando Norris, the 2 former teammates from McLaren. There we go. Look at the top-hand side. Wet weather, intermediates. Everyone is going to be on inters. And I have just pit down to whatever we are, P16. Brilliant. You know what this is? This is deja vu. This, funny enough, happened to us in the exact same way in Imola. We pit trying to get the jump on AI, and then the game just thought, oh no, that's far too clever. No, no, no. Red flag. And you're just going to lose all the time you would have gained, and you're going to start all the way back to where you were, where you came out. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Right, well, here we go then. Welcome to the 5-lap Monza Sprint, all on intermediate, and I'm starting P17 as lights go out for the second time here at the Italian Grand Prix. Everyone now on intermediates. Very shaky start. Perez has overtaken us in the Andretti. Brilliant stuff. As we run down to turn 1, taking it very easy though, because grip is very iffy. All these inters are not warmed up, they're not gripped up, and the track is going to be very slippery right now because we've not been cleaning it up on the racing line, but we do manage to try and re-overtake Sergio Perez to get back into P16. Absolute wonderful stuff. We were P4. We were P4, and now we're P16. We dive down the inside of Joe Guan Yu, though, and Valtteri Bottas. Bottas. I was going to say I'm angry, and I want positions. I'm now even more angry because Bottas has pushed me off into the gravel. I am absolutely done right now. Oh, poor Chair. He's in the pits. Oh, what a shame for our old teammate. He was doing so well. It was a top 3 for him. And now he's pit, and this is why he was P3, his teammate on pole position, but the Ferrari got the better start. But poor Chair actually gets a really good run, and he goes for heroics into turn 1, and he's going to get pinched by the Ferrari and his own teammate, and that is where the contact was made, and he's got front wing damage from that. So that is why he is pit on the opening lap of the restart. That is a massive shame for poor Chair. But Gasly's still in it, and there's still a Ferrari in it. So we were involved in the Ferrari v Lamborghini fight last season. Well, poetically, it's still carrying on without me. But right now, I'd rather be back in that zone, because driving for BMW right now, I am having to race an Andretti Cadillac because I lost the rear end through Parabolica. So yeah, if you're wondering if I'm going to gain performance in the wet compared to the dry running here at this track, no, doesn't look like it. I'm very iffy on the rear end. The steering wheel, my wheel felt really weird. It was like the force feedback was like extra high in these intermediate conditions. It was making things very tricky. We're still trying to overtake people. We're overtaking slower cars, to be fair, of Dragovic and Magnussen, but make no mistakes, I will tell you from my own mouth that the car felt absolutely horrendous. I had no confidence in it. The only reason we overtook those cars was because we're much quicker than them anyway, in the context of the pecking order in the season. But fighting going on between Leclerc and Russell. Leclerc, sorry by the way, I was ranting for too much. Leclerc's overtaken Russell, trying to, up into P2. Meanwhile, it's 3 wide between Button, Albon, and Carlos Sainz, the Audi, trying to get ahead. And look at the scrapping going on ahead of us. They're all fighting. From P4 down to P10, they're all ahead of us in this one camera shot. They're all fighting each other far too much. So with 2 laps to go, maybe there is a chance we, 1, get into the points, and maybe finesse something as we overtake Ocon. We're into the top 10, but there are about 6 positions ahead of us. If we play our cards right, could we somehow fraud our way into some massive positions? We go for the slipstream. We're going to overtake Liam Lawson, pull to the outside. Tsunoda, though, is going for the move on Albon, maybe, so we have to kind of tread lightly there and just be a bit cautious. So we just keep the position for P9. Meanwhile, Button hanging on to the P4. Sainz and Verstappen chasing after, and there's a big gap to P3. Russell, who's behind Leclerc, and there's a huge gap to Pierre Gasly, who's nearly 7 seconds ahead. No matter what conditions in this race, Gasly has consistently been able to pull a gap to P2. He deserves this win if he goes on to actually book this in with 2 laps to go. Tsunoda and Albon, 2 abreast, and they go very slow. Yellow flags. Is deja vu going on here. Someone else retiring in the same part of the circuit as before. It was a McLaren earlier. Someone else behind us, I think, Span, as we're looking to now close up on Tsunoda and Albon. We had a chance maybe to Riscari, but we're just taking this cautiously because last minute dive and mistake is going to be a calamity. I'd rather get the points to limit the damage here to Button, to Tsunoda, and I'm going to try if I can see if I can overtake Tsunoda, I will, but right now he's going for a move himself on Albon. It's 3 wide ahead of them. Look at that. Button in the middle of Sainz and Verstappen. The Ferrari really squeezes Jensen, you know, on the exit of turn 2 there, and Tsunoda now has overtaken Albon and is on the back of Carlos Sainz. Tsunoda Tsunoda, once again, is just looking to overtake and overtake and overtake as we go for the overtake ourselves on Alexander Albon. Have to finish it off going really deep into the corner to get the elbow out. And is there a chance to maybe overtake Tsunoda because he's caught up in this train? Verstappen and Button are slow. Sainz is pulling away. He's looking a bit quicker, but we just can't quite make a move on the inside. We don't have the confidence under the brakes, and ahead of us, they're now nearly 3 wide again. They are 3 wide again. It's Button v Verstappen v Sainz, and Tsunoda is watching, and every single time we go through Sector 2, we're just losing time. This is on the last lap now. I'm trying to see if we can get this exit to maybe get Sainz. It looks like Tsunoda, again, will make another overtake here. So me and Yuki are both climbing up the order. Tsunoda's doing really well to put a car between us, as where can we go? We're right underneath his rear wing, but I just daren't dive down the inside. We've gone around the outside, but we've locked up on the rear end. We've gone over the curb, and Tsunoda, he now defends really well on the inside, moves across to block us. He's doing really, really well, Yuki is, to defend us here, and I just don't have the confidence to really nail it on any corner exit to go for it. And you can see the rear end's actually wobbling around. Meanwhile, in a different planet, Pierre Gasly is coming through nearly 14 seconds ahead of the next car to win the Italian Grand Prix. Lamborghini continue this streak of wins at Monza. Even though it's Gasly, I've got a tear in my eye. I'm pretty happy about Lamborghini continuing the heritage that I started to carve out last season for them with that Italian Grand Prix win here. Fond memories. This time we're just, just about surviving as it's a photo finish, but we are going to get ahead of Lawson just.
Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
So once again, rain did deliver a topsy-turvy Grand Prix. Unfortunately, this time wasn't in our favour, but look at the championship. 5 points covering the top 3. Leclerc is now up in P2 for Audi. And I don't think he's won a race yet, has he? Or he might have won 1 race this season. Incredible stuff that Leclerc is in the title fight, legitimately. And it's just through consistency, really, as of late. Topsy-turvy one for us today, but thrilling nonetheless. Guys, if you have enjoyed it, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.